G'day everyone, how are we? Thursday night, 7th of December. Hope you're all well. Let me know, I've snuck on early. Let me know if you can hear me and see me okay, guys. Make sure audio's good, video's good. Look a bit, it's very yellow. How's the video look, guys? Looks a bit, I don't know. Looks a bit yellow to me. I've got a green shirt on, but yeah. Anyway, let me know what you think. Kane's on the diddly. G'day, Nicole. How are you? Yeah. That picture looks different to what it normally does. It looks, I don't know. Looks yellow or something. I hope me bloody camera's all right. Hey, Jacqueline, how are you? Nags, all loud and clear. Okay. I don't know. The picture just looks a bit funny to me. Looks a bit, in the background there, looks a bit yellowy. I don't know. Just looks different. Mr. Bullet's on over there in WA. What is it over there, mate? 4:20 in the afternoon in West Aussie. Nearly midnight down there, south of the border. All the Vics, they'll be going to bed soon. It's 7:19 down there. They'll all be going to bed soon. They all got to be in bed by 8 o'clock. Having a sneaky red, why not? Live feed. G'day from Jonesy. G'day from southwest Western Australia. Whereabouts, Jonesy? My daughter lives in Bustleton, which is that way. And my favourite little town there, mate, is Pemberton. That's my favourite little town in West Aussie, Pemberton. I love it. And yes, I've been up the Gloucester tree twice, and I got a cramp halfway down the second one. And being 60 metres in the air and getting a cramp in your leg wasn't good. The old Gloucester tree, it's a beauty, isn't it, down there? That's near Pemberton from memory. Yeah, Pemberton, what a beautiful little place. I can't remember them now. Used to go camping around honeymoon pools near Collie there. Really good fun with my kids when they were younger. Used to go camping down there, mate. It was bloody really, really good. Chrissy Anderson's on, who got his Mr. Buckaroony patches the other day. Chris, I put your photo up on Facebook, mate. Hope you saw that one. Everyone's starting to get their patches, the old Buckaroony patches. I'll give them another plug, guys. It's gone off the boil, haven't so. Actually ran into a bloke at BCF yesterday. He said, "Hey, Buck, you got any patch kits left?" I said, "Yeah." I gave him the one in the BT50, so I had to replace that one. So, yeah, the patch kits, we got over $2,500 profit now for the charity, guys. And every patch kit we sell from now on, set of 4, every patch kit we sell, the whole $35 goes into the charity. So, because me and Gidgey have got our stuff back. Hey, Pap, how are you, mate? John Pap's on, everyone, down there in Townsville. Hope you're getting your cyclone prep done, mate. Bits of corrugated iron and all that stuff lying around. Pap lives out on 10 acres, so I guess you've got some stuff to clean up, mate, in case this cyclone bloody heads our way, which it looks like it is. Exactly where, we don't know yet. We'll talk about that soon and all the preparations that I'm doing for it. It might all be for nothing, but you can never be too prepared when it comes to a cyclone or any natural disaster, bushfire, floods, all that type of stuff. And the good thing about cyclones, unlike the bloody tornadoes in America, we get plenty of warning. You know, they told us that one might form up last week, and it did. And now it's heading our way, and we've got plenty of time to prepare for it. So if you're unprepared for a cyclone, it's your own fault. It really is. And we'll talk about that thing. Rob the Wanderer's on. Actually, I think it's 6, isn't it? Prior preparation prevents a piss poor performance. The 6 Ps, mate. The 6 Ps in that one. Yeah, prior preparation prevents a piss poor performance. Absolutely. Jeff's Travels has got it there. What? I just remembered I'm not on StreamYard tonight, guys. I'm just on normal YouTube Live, so I can't highlight the bloke. I just tried to highlight Jeff's Travels comment there. I can't do it because I'm not on StreamYard. Yeah. Tell you, speaking of StreamYard, Rob, I want to give you a ring, mate, probably on the weekend. Let us know when's a good time to ring you. I wanted you to talk me through that prize thing. That was really good how you did that the other night. Absolutely fantastic. Tony Purdy, he is. Can I let the cat out of the bag, Tony? I won't say anything unless you give me a thumbs up there, Tone. I'll give him a bit of a thumbs up. But I won't say anything unless I see you can say go for it, Buck. You might not want people to know, mate. Yeah. Hope you're getting bloody settled down there in the nation's capital, mate. Getting away, going from one extreme, from Darwin to Canberra. Boy, jingos, isn't that a culture shock when it comes to the weather? I know Canberra can get hot in summer, but geez, you'll know about it. You won't be walking around in a singlet and shorts next winter in Canberra, mate. Let me tell you, like you did in Darwin. Yeah. Yeah, okay, Rob. Yeah, that'll be good to have a chat about that. And hopefully it's available on the basic StreamYard because I just use the free basic version, mate. I haven't paid for StreamYard. I hope that is. I think you said it was on the basic version. So anyway, we'll talk about that later on. Greggy Campbell's on. Greg got my patches today in the mail, and I had up the maroons on the bottom of the envelope. I did that to a couple of the cockroaches and put up the maroons on the bottom of the envelope. So Greg went, you cheeky bugger. So anyway, and Pete McMurtry emailed me yesterday. He lives 3 hours down the road in Townsville. Buck, I haven't got me patches yet. And I thought, here we go. Aussie Post has struck again. But he emailed me today and said, I got them, mate. They turned up today. So it took 8 or 9 days to get from Innisfail to Townsville. And he said, I think they went via Brisbane, via Carrier Turtle. Jack Turtle must have been carrying that one. So it looks like instead of going from Innisfail to Townsville, she's gone Innisfail, probably Cairns, flowing to Brisbane, and then road freight up to Townsville or something. Good old Aussie Post, dead set. Lukey Reed's on, and two pointy heads are on, guys. Lukey Reed and Tyler Haas. Lukey's not in Tassie at the moment. He's down in Victoria. I think Lukey's going to spend Christmas with his sister and his mum and dad, which is great. Oh, bless me. Bloody sneeze. A bit of dust or something just went up my nose. Tony's giving me the thumbs up. I'll let you know about what Tony's doing soon. Thanks, Tony. I don't think it's a big secret, mate. We'll let the cat out. Hopefully Snorky won't mind. Fat boy Bobby. G'day, Buck and Roz. G'day, Fat boy Bobby. How are you, mate? I hope you're doing well. Nikki Slade. Seen what Oz Post doing? No, I haven't seen what Oz Post doing now. No. The other day, Freddie Boots got onto me, guys, Danny Bowes. He said, Buck, you know, on your Veteran Affairs gold card, you're entitled to 100 stamps, or is it 50? A heap of stamps at half price each year because you've got a Veteran Affairs. So I went in, and because I'm bloody paying for the postage for these patches, I've got to put two $1.20 stamps on each envelope. So I said, I might as well bloody make use of this. I'll get 100 of the half-price stamps. They said, oh, yeah, you can, but you can only use them on a standard envelope, which means they were no good on that little parcel. The envelope I'm using, basically, I can't use the half-price stamps on that. So I just looked at the label. I said, don't worry about it. I said, there's always a catch. Australia Post go, yeah, we'll give veterans 100 half-price stamps a year. Doesn't sound like much, but when you're doing something like what I'm doing at the moment, I thought, it's going to save me a bit of money, but can only be used on a standard normal envelope, which I can't put 4 patches in. I can get 4 patches in there, but it's too thick to go through the scale. So anyway, up their arse, a corn cob. Friggin' over it, this country. Just doesn't matter what you do. There's a hurdle in front of you. Dead set. Yeah. Anyone who has a gold or white card gets these stamps. Oh, well, there you go, Nicole. Didn't know that till Danny told me the other day, but it's no good to me anyway because I never send a normal. Who writes letters these days? Honestly, who writes friggin' letters these days and sends a standard letter in the mail like we did back in the 80s? You don't do it. And then when you go, I'm posting these patches. Oh, no, you can't use it on that type of envelope that you're using. Can only go on a standard one, which I can't get 4 patches in because over 20 mil thick. Yeah, so another sounded good till you actually go to do it, and then it all turned to shit. Who else is on? That's why I came on early to say good day to everyone. Brad Howell. G'day, Brad. How are you? I hope you're all well, mate. Ashley Barnett. Yep, always something, Buck. Yeah, you're not wrong. So I'm going to... Pump Koala's on. Pump Koala. Toddy got his patch kit as well, guys. I think it was the Pump Koala, Chrissy Anderson, Dan Allen. There's a few of yous on there. Jay Slade, I think I put Jason's all sending in photos to me and also the legends of their patch kits up. Some have got them in their cars, some have got them in on their draw system, some have got them in their camper trailers. It's good, eh? How Snorky's on, guys. So there you go there. The old patch kits, they're going well. And as I said, we've cracked the 2,500 profit for the legends. Haven't had an order since after Rob the Wanderer's live feed, guys. It's gone off the boil. That's why I've got to keep mentioning it. If you haven't got a patch kit, guys, it's a good thing. Everyone's getting into them now. Put them up in your four-wheel drive on your thing. It's just good to collect patches from your favourite YouTuber or all that type of stuff. So $35, and you know every cent of that $35 now goes to that charity because Ken and I got our setup costs back, and we're covering the postage. So every cent of that $35 goes straight into the charity. So send us an email if you haven't got one. There's a few names on there. Saxon Overland, he got his. Dave got his. He's got his patch kit. And he said, I've got to get some more. He said, these are the first ones I've got. They look a bit bare, mate. 4 of them by then. I'll tell you what, I'm getting a good collection. Out there touring. I got his today in the mail, and she's up on the camper trailer. So I'm getting a really good collection. And Johnny Wilcox over in West Virginia, if you're watching, mate, or you see the replay of this, yours haven't arrived yet, unfortunately. They'll get here at some stage. But John sent me a heap of US police ones, Velcro patches that I can stick up on the camper trailer. Really looking forward to getting there. I've got a great collection on the camper trailer now. Really good. Yeah, Brad got his. Brad ordered a heap of patch kits off me. Thank you so much, Brad. We really appreciate that, mate. Steve W., time for cornflakes and a coffee. It's bloody breakfast time up in the motherland, guys. Steve W., g'day, mate. And let me know when your patches arrive. You and Andy Riches, I've sent a couple of sets up there to the UK. Mike Blakely and Johnny Wilcox, I've sent yours to the US. Steve Wilkes, if you see this and you're in Mexico, please send me your email, mate. Your address. I want to send your patch kit over to Mexico. And who else have we got? Phil W. over the ditch. I've sent yours over as well, mate. So, and who else was there? I'm missing someone. Slacken. How could I forget Slacken? His are on the way to Canada as well. So I sent 6 international ones the other day. The only one I haven't sent, Steve Wilkes. Steve, if you see this, mate, email me your address in Mexico, mate, and your patches will arrive. Unlike Australia Post, that they arrive on the back of a turtle, in Mexico, Steve Wilkes reckons they arrive via donkey. He reckons he's got his last Buckaroony shirts via donkey. The mailman was on a donkey up there in Mexico. Good stuff. Snorky's got his. Good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, speaking of bloody Tony Purdy and Snorky, Tony Purdy has just bought Snorky's camper trailer, guys. Good on you, Tony. That's a beautiful camper trailer too. We all know Snorky bloody really looked after that camper trailer. It's still bloody as good as the day Rob bought it, mate. So, yeah, Tony's going to come up and from Canberra to Brizzy and pick it up. So, yeah, Tony Purdy's got Snorky's old drifter because Snorky's gone and bought an Austrac 13-foot bloody hybrid caravan. So he sold his drifter camper trailer. His Dot, I forget the number of it. Dot, it's one of the later ones, Tony. So it's a beauty, mate. Got lithium in it and all the work. So you'll really enjoy that one, Tony. It'll be spot on, mate. The camel train to WA. Yeah, exactly right, mate. Yours are on the way, Mr. Bullet. Yours will get there, along with Pete from WA Camping, Cam Wild. I haven't seen any of the West Aussie guys tell me they've got theirs yet. I didn't send them express or registered like with a tracking number, guys, because it was just too expensive. It was too expensive. I just sent them snail mail. So you'll get them when you get them. So Ty Fenwick, Ty's, so I don't know if Ty's got his yet, but I'll tell you what I did buy the other day is, what did I buy off you, Ty? A patch, and what else was there? Friggin' hell. Ty, help me out. I bought something off. I got on the Ty's website. God, how's my memory going? I forget what I bought off Ty. Oh, a T-shirt. The T-shirt's got the Aussie and the US flag on there, and it's a army tan colour and that. So I got on and bought one of Ty's T-shirts, which look really good, and a patch off Ty Fenwick, guys. So let me know when your patch kit arrives, Ty. Thanks a lot, mate. As said, good to see all the YouTubers all supporting each other. Ty bought my patch kit, and I went and got his, and I bought one off Cam and Pete, and it's great how all the YouTubers and the legends and that, we all support each other. You know, I got an order from every one of the legends, which is good. Speaking of which, is Phil the Maniac. Don't know if Phil the Maniac's got his down in Bundaberg yet. I know Steve and Annie got theirs. Snorky got his today. Cliff Anders, Mr. Bullet just sent me a thing. But I didn't order any. Well, if you didn't order any, you probably won't be getting any. I thought you'd ordered the set, Cliff. Oh, well, there you go. I'm wrong. Righto, guys, we're going to get on with what I'm going to jibber-jab. I don't want to go too long. 16 minutes. It is 6:35. So I've said all the shout-outs. If I missed you, thanks for joining in. Dwayne Duffy, sorry for being late, but hello, Buck and everyone. Thanks for joining in, Dwayne. You haven't missed anything, mate. All I've been doing is talking shit and talking about the... I think I'll give them one last plug. I won't mention them again. The Buckaroony patches, guys. Christmas coming up. If you want a set for your four-wheel drive, your camper trailer, your drawer systems, your fridge, anywhere you can stick Velcro, get on and support me and the Gidgee Gorilla, me brother. Speaking of Gidgee, he'll be on soon, and I'll give you a bit of an update on Gidge. Some exciting news there. So there's the patch kit. They look really good, and for everyone who sent the photos in, thank you so much. It's good they look good in different things. I've got them up on the roof of the BT50, the camper trailer. They look really good. So everyone who sent in thing, Mike Blakely is on. G'day, Mike. How are you? Yours are in the mail. I don't know if you heard me say that before, Mike. Mike's over there in Colorado, guys, which is good. And we've also got Johnny Wilcox over in West Virginia. So I did a bit of research because this Sunday morning I was going to do a live feed with John, but with this cyclone bearing down on us, I called off the one with John and also Freddie Boots, guys. We're going to do one with Danny on motor neurone disease, and we're still going to do that. It's a very important subject. Danny lost his wife to motor neurone disease, and it's something we want to make everyone aware of and whatever. I sent Danny a message and said, mate, this weekend I'm keeping my eye on the weather, and I might be busy doing other shit. So I said I just want to put the live feeds on. So I thought I'll come on tonight, do a quick live feed about how I'm getting ready for this potential cyclone, and that way it frees the weekend up. So if I have to really get stuck into my cyclone prep, I can do it. So yeah. So as you know, guys, Mike, we don't have hurricanes down here in the Southern Hemisphere, mate. We call them cyclones. Same thing. They do a lot of bloody... Herb Hamilton. Hi, Buck, from Edwina and Herb. Best of luck up there. Thanks, Herb. Thanks a lot, mate. Really appreciate it. Now, listen, anyone who's from probably Mackay to Cooktown, I just read the Bureau of Meteorology, the BOM, I'm going to call it, BOM. I shouldn't say that word. I might get jammed by YouTube for saying the BOMB word, but Bureau of Meteorology. I just looked it up there. Cyclone Jasper has formed, and it is now not in the Solomon Sea, it's in the Coral Sea, guys, which means it's getting closer to the Queensland coastline. Still about 1,300 kilometres off there. They reckon it's spinning up at the moment. It's a Category 3, so it's a severe tropical cyclone. Once they get over Category 2, they become a severe tropical cyclone, which means they do a shitload of damage. 3s, 4s, and 5s. We'll tell you a bit about the 4s and 5s because we've been through one here in Innisfail. Innisfail's been hit in recent times by a 4 and a 5, and they're not pleasant, which is why we take them serious, guys. For those of you down south, they're a very real thing up here, and we always talk about how beautiful North Queensland is. This is one of the downsides, guys. We're in cyclone zone. But I think I'd rather that than be in bushfire zones and that like you are in Victoria and certain parts of the country. I'll take a cyclone over a fire any day of the week. Mind you, they're not bloody, none of them are pleasant, are they? So Cyclone Jasper is formed. It's in the Coral Sea. It's a Category 3 at the moment, and I was just watching the news before I came live. They said it could spin up into a high Category 4, possibly hit Category 5 by tonight. So it is gaining momentum big time out there in the Coral Sea. They said at the moment, they really don't know where it's going to hit. It's too far out at the moment, and as we know, cyclones can bloody change their mind. They can go anywhere. So it's still too early to panic for anyone. But they've said if you live between Cooktown, which is 5 hours north of me, and Mackay, which is about 7 hours south of me, you're in the impact zone. That's where they think it's going to cross. Anywhere between Cooktown and Mackay. Mackay's North Queensland. Cooktown, as you know, is far North Queensland. So they don't know where it's going to cross yet. And all they're doing is saying to people, don't panic, start getting ready. Start making plans and start getting ready. And that's what I've been doing. A lot of it's just up here at the moment about what I need to do. Now, listen, over the weekend, I'm sure things will start coming clearer and the BOM will know a bit more about what this cyclone is going to do. At the moment, it's a bit unpredictable. They don't know what it's going to do. They said it could hit a Category 5 by the end of tonight. But I was just looking at the tracking map, and it looks like it's going to spin up into a 4 and then start, as it gets closer to the Queensland coast, rather than maintaining, it looks like it's going to go down to a 3 and then a 2. But it's still going to be a Category 2 when it's out around Willis Island, which is off Cairns. Last time a cyclone come across Willis Island was 2011, and that was Cyclone Jasper, the biggest cyclone to ever hit Australia, guys. That was a big one. And we were sitting here listening to the radio, listening to it come in, and they said it's approaching Willis Island and it's packing gusts to 285. And I just thought, oh, my God, and then they said, we've lost contact with Willis Island, the weather station on Willis Island. Willis Island it just got trashed. And then it came in and they said, right, it's heading straight for Innisfail. And here we go. Then the power went out and we had 8 hours of bullshittery. And it was terrible. Category 5 cyclone. The eye didn't come across us in Cyclone Jasper. I said to Roz after about 4 hours of having sounded like a jumbo jet sitting on top of our roof, I said, what's going on? The eye hasn't come across yet. Usually you get a lull in the battle and the eye passes. You can go out and check things, and then she spins up, comes in from the other way. So it loosens everything up, and then it comes in from the other way. We had 8 hours of real bad, and I mean real bad wind, howling wind and rain for 8 hours non-stop. From about 8 at night, it got real bad. It was getting bad in the afternoon, but real bad from 8 p.m. until 4 a.m. And I woke up at 4 a.m. and it was still pretty bad. And then it started dying off then. And I thought, right, we got through that one. But 8 hours of just bullshit, because what happened is that it ducked south of Innisfail, just off about 50K off the coast. It took 100K off the coast. It took a southern turn and it smashed Tully and Mission Beach, which is half hour south of us. So we didn't actually get the eye there, guys. So we got 8 hours of just non-stop getting buffeted by a Category 5. The worst one for Innisfail, but was 2006, Cyclone Larry. I was working up in Cape York at the time when I was a cop. And 2 days after that cyclone hit Innisfail, it hit Innisfail. Coral Sea, it came for Innisfail and did not look like missing. It didn't curve around. It just came straight in and didn't deviate. It just come straight for Innisfail. And it did a lot of damage, guys. $1.1 billion worth of damage to Innisfail and the surrounding areas. Decimated the bananas, decimated the sugar cane. It was a bad one. 2 days after the cyclone, my sergeant up in Arakoon, he said, mate, police air wings coming in, get on it, fly back to Cairns, go and check on your missus and your property. So Roz picked me up from Cairns and she said it's pretty bad down there. Anyway, we left Cairns and we got the southern suburbs of Cairns and there were trees down and all this, and I thought, geez. She said, don't worry, you haven't seen nothing yet. Got to Babinda and I was thinking, holy shit, how bad is it? And we got into Innisfail, guys. It looked like a nuclear bomb had gone off. And I'm not exaggerating. It was just devastation. Not a tree with a bit of green left on it. It just stripped the mountainsides, all the rain was just stripped bare. And it was a bad one. Anyway, Cyclone Jasper, it wasn't much better. It was a Category 5 Jasper, but it didn't do as much damage around Innisfail as what Larry did because it just went slightly. We're just on the northern side of the eye. Jasper, about $3 billion worth of damage to infrastructure and that. So they're the two big ones that have hit Innisfail. And in 2017, a Category 5 hit Airlie Beach. Cyclone Debbie, I think it was called, hit Airlie Beach. My mate of mine, Liam, was down there. And he said, mate, that was bullshit. It was a real slow-moving cyclone, and it hovered over Airlie Beach in the Whitsundays like all night. And it just, some of those beautiful resorts there in the Whitsundays just got taken out. Speaking of resorts, the beautiful resort on Dunk Island off Mission Beach, it's never reopened after Cyclone Jasper. It just got trashed, absolutely trashed. So Jacqueline said Jacqueline lost her roof in Larry in 2006. Most of the high-set homes did, Jacqueline. My home's a low-set, and the one besides a low-set. Most of the high-sets in Larry did lose their roofs. The low-set homes seemed to fare a bit better. My house, she's gone through Larry in 06 and Jasper in 11 and has not budged. That roof has got to be loosened up surely, but since then, I've been up there and replaced every roof screw. Instead of the 50 mil screws, I've put 65s in. So every roof screw in my roof is the long one, and it's into solid timber. So my roof is in good condition, guys, as far as cyclones go. So anyway, so I know my roof's in good nick. If it goes, it goes. I'm insured. So Gary Pye, time to move down to northern New South Wales. Yeah, and then they get the floods down there, mate. Doesn't matter where you go in Australia, something's going to get you, either a bushfire, a flood, or a cyclone, or a croc, or a shark, or a snake. Something will get you. Scrub turkey, I'm in Townsville and thinking it will hit Townsville and Innisfail, danger zone. Yeah, well, scrub turkey anywhere between Cooktown and Mackay at the moment, mate. So bit early to worry about it. So what have I been doing to get ready? Well, I've been charging all my torches up, all my kick-ass torches, guys. I've been making sure my batteries are charged. Now, I've got lithium batteries. Hello, Buck. I got those patches yesterday. They're very good. Thank you, from Rod Wood. Thanks, Rod. Yeah, so as you know, I've got the camper trailer now. I've got a lithium battery in there and a fridge. So even though it's been a bit rainy the last 2 days, I've had the solar panels out and I'm charging up the camper trailer. I went and got an inline filter today from BCF. Water tanks are going to get topped up on that. So if we do lose electricity and we can't have a warm shower, which happened, after Larry and Jasper, guys, we were without power for 2 full weeks, 14 days both times before we got power back on. So that's what I'm preparing for this time. If we lose power, you've got to be ready. So I've got the camper trailer. I've got a 60-litre fridge in there and a lithium battery. The camper trailer will be ready to go. It'll have full 160 litres of water in that. The battery will be totally topped up. The BT50's got a lithium battery and a fridge in it, a 40-litre angle. So at least we can have cold water, some milk, beers, and keep some meat cold. You know what I mean? And then I've also got a battery box in the shed, 120 amp hour lithium battery in the shed, and a 105 litre My Coolman fridge. I've also got in our big chest freezer, big 10 litre container, ice cream containers from when we owned the cafe. I've got about 8 of those, all big ice, full solid ice. So I've got an 85 litre esky as well. So if we do lose power, I can use those big, massive ice blocks in the chest freezer and put a couple of them in the big esky, the 85 litre esky, and that'll keep stuff cold for at least a week in the esky. So I've got plenty of ways to keep stuff cold. I've got 3 camping fridges, and I'll keep banging on about in my clips, guys, about why it's good to have portable battery box. Like that portable battery box in the shed, I can bring that and the fridge from the shed inside so that we can keep cold milk and cold water and that. Summer up here at the moment, and let me tell you, when the electricity goes out, the first thing you notice is how bloody hot it is. You can't even stay in the house. So I've got all my Ryobi batteries charged up. I've got a Ryobi fan there, so at least we can sleep at night and get a bit of fresh air. Trying to sleep at night in summer without ceiling fans up here. No aircon. We run the air cons when we go to bed, but then we just have the ceiling fans on. But when there's no fans at all, it's too hot to sleep. And that's one thing I remember is just how hot it is up here when you don't realise how hot it is till you haven't got air cons and fans. So got the Ryobi fan there. I've got a way to charge all the Ryobi batteries up using my lithium battery boxes, my iTech World lithium battery boxes. So that's another reason I have a spare battery box in the shed as well. And I've also got the camper trailer. So I've got 3 fridges. I can if the sun's out after the cyclone, I can keep those batteries topped up. If not, worst case scenario, I'll back the BT50 up to the camper trailer and I can charge up the battery in the BT and the camper trailer and just idle the bloody BT for an hour and a half, charge the batteries up that way using the Anderson plug. So there's always ways around it, even if I don't have solar. And, you might go here after Yasi, it just rained for a week, so solar wasn't really any good to you. I don't have a generator anymore. The generator I had shit itself, so I don't have a gen set. But I'll get by. As I said, worst case, I'll run the BT50. Went down yesterday, me and Roz went into the servo nice and early, filled up the BT50, full of diesel. Roz's car's full, Jamil's car's full. In case we have to do an evacuation or something, we've got fuel in the car, so we're ready that way. Probably over the weekend, we'll go and grab some cash out of the ATM, so we've got cash. So if there is no power, you can't use FPOS, guys. You can't go and refuel at the servos when they don't have power until they get a generator or something up and running. So we've been through this before a couple of times in Innisfail. So our emergency services know exactly how it's going to work. We've got a very good emergency services here. And after the amount of cyclones we get, you reckon they'd be very well rehearsed by now. But we haven't had a real big one since 2017 in North Queensland. So hopefully people aren't getting complacent. I know my brother said, oh, that's bloody, don't even worry about it yet. I said, starting to get ready because it's better to be over-prepared than not prepared at all. Making sure all the water jerrys in the shed are full. So if we do lose water for a couple of days, we can at least flush the toilet. Water jerry into a bucket and flush the toilet using a bucket. That's another thing. I don't have a bathtub anymore. Normally I top the bathtub up as well. Gidgey's on now. G'day, Gidge. How are you? So, yeah, praying for Innisfail. No, that's all right, man. It's not just Innisfail. It could head anywhere from Cooktown to Mackay at the moment. So we don't know. Listen, it could cross the coast as a Cat 2. I don't know. No one knows. Even the bomb doesn't know yet. It could pick up intensity and cross as a 4 or a 5. We don't know. But you've got to be ready for the worst. Really got to be ready for the worst. Went into yesterday, bought baked beans, tins of tuna, rice, all that type of stuff. Didn't go silly. Didn't go and fill the whole trolley up. I didn't do a big panic buy. Just bought a few items. We might go in on the weekend. Bought a carton of 24 waters. Got plenty of water in the drinking water And worst case scenario, I bought an inline filter. So when I fill all the water jerrys in the shed tomorrow, worst case scenario, we can use that as drinking water as well. I drank out of water jerrys for 20 years in the Army and I'm still alive. So you don't have to drink bottled water, guys. The water out of the tap here is quite safe to drink. All around Australia, I presume. Most of your places, you can drink out of the bloody. That's what we did as kids, wasn't it? Playing outdoor cricket, drinks break, hose in the mouth. That's what we used to do. So back to that, everyone thinks they've got to have bloody Mount Franklin water now to survive. You don't. So I've got the water jerrys out there. They'll be filled tomorrow. The camper trailer will be full. Everything that can be recharged will be recharged. My battery boxes all recharged. And that's a good thing, guys. If you're in a cyclone zone and you don't have a lithium battery, it might be worth looking into getting a lithium battery, even if it's a King's lithium battery in a battery box, so you can charge stuff up. You can charge your kick-ass torches. We've got 3 kick-ass torches, so they're all recharged, ready to go. All my headlamps, we got a couple of kick-ass head torches. They'll all be recharged. Everything that needs to be recharged will be recharged. We don't run a lot of stuff on batteries anymore here. Everything's like USB rechargeable. But if you do have stuff that runs off batteries, make sure you got spare batteries and all that type of stuff as well. We'll probably grab some batteries for the little radio, so we can, when we lose power, we can still turn the radio on and listen to what's going on. So don't drink the tap water in Mount Isa. Okay. Yeah, Innisfail's got quite nice water. Townsville's shit, but Innisfail's tap water is not too bad, actually, I must admit. Comes out of the river, but they must filter it really well, and it's not bad water at all. But I did buy an inline filter today. So when I fill the camper trailer up, that'll all be filtered through the inline filter, and the water jerrys will be filtered from the hose, inline filter, just a little bit extra protection there. So, and at the end of the day, if we do want to drink that water, even though it's safe to drink as it is, that was the other thing. Butane stoves. I've got those little butane stoves, guys. I went and bought a big 6-pack of butane canisters from BCF yesterday. So you can always boil your water up and then put it into your thing. Tell you what is coming in handy for drinking water is those Grove juice bottles. I've got about 6 of them in the fridge now, all full of. I boil a jug up every night. When I get up in the morning, I just fill another Grove juice bottle up rather than buying bottled water all the time. I'm just starting to use tap water now. Just boil it up. You can drink it straight out of the tap. It's fine. But if you boil it up, it's just a bit extra protection, isn't it? So get on the rum, Tofty, you reckons? Tofty's on. Hey, saw your clip today, mate, out at St. George. It was a good one. The Zone RV one when you're out at St. George. Didn't see you running around in your underpants. They must have edited that bit out, mate. So out there with all your friends at St. George. Good to stuff. Saw Callum on the harvester from the drone. I'm presuming that was Callum's harvester that we saw. Terry G. Yeah, so that's what we're doing, guys. We're just making plans, not panicking at the moment. Vehicles. So if it does look like it's going to hit us, it's going to be a good one. I've worked out I can get the boat, the camper trailer, the BT50 and Jamil's Mitsubishi Lancer in the back shed. And what I intend to do, got some single mattresses there that just sit behind the door. During Cyclone Jasper, the roller doors, they're prone to blowing in during a big cyclone. So the roller door, so it doesn't blow in, I'll put the single mattress against it and I back the BT50 up against it or one of the other vehicles. So the mattress protects the door from rattling against the vehicle. And what it does, the weight of the vehicle stops the roller door blowing in. And it worked during Cyclone Jasper for me. So 2 roller doors on the shed. The BT50 will be backed up against one with a mattress in between it. Jamil's car will be backed up to the other roller door with a mattress in between it. And Roz's car in the other carport with a roller door. Roz's car will be backed up to that roller door with another single mattress between the door and that. And that will hopefully stop those doors being blown in. I know during Jasper, my neighbour's shed out the back, he lost both his roller doors. They were just bloody like tissue paper. They just got trashed, absolutely trashed. And he had to have both them replaced. So, yeah, so we got all that ready to go. Our windows, all that type of stuff. The front door, it wobbles a bit, so I've got a plank and I can drill that in, and I've got a plank of wood that keeps that door nice and solid. So the roof's in good nick. I've done all the roof screws with 65 mil screws when I replaced all the rusty roof screws. Every roof screw up there now is the big, long 65 millimetre one. One thing I am concerned about that I didn't have last cyclone is I've now got solar panels up there. And I'm worried about the solar panels sit up off the roof. I'm worried about the wind getting under and getting underneath the solar panels. If it happens, it happens. The other thing I did today was ring my insurance company up to make sure the houses are insured. They are. They didn't get back to me. They said, oh, we'll take your details and we'll get back to you. Some overflow service. So Defence Service Homes Insurance. I didn't hear back from them, but I'll ring them again tomorrow. We've got this house and the house next door is our rental home guys. They're both insured and we've got contents insurance for this. So going to ring up and just double check. I know they're insured, but I just want peace of mind, make sure that both homes, there hasn't been a hiccup with a payment or something. I've got a direct debit and make sure that they're still current so that if we do lose a roof, we're fully insured. How many times do you see people that can't afford insurance and then get hit by a cyclone or a bushfire and then they've lost everything, guys? So as dear as insurances are, they're a bloody evil necessity, especially up here. You cannot afford not to be insured when you're in a cyclone zone. Yeah, so I don't know. Anyone else got any good ideas? I think I've got just about everything covered. Food, water, lights. Medication was the other one. I'm not on medications, and nor is Roz. Panadol Osteo is about all I pop. So, but if you are on medications or you need heart medication or anything like that, guys, make sure you get into the pharmacy and you get a good supply of your medication and that, because you may not be able to get it when you need to get it until things get back up on their feet. So if you do need medication, do I have to? Well, it doesn't hurt, Craig, to tape your windows up, mate. I didn't last time. During Cyclone Jasper, I didn't tape my windows to stop them rattling, like the sliding, they rattle. I've got these little plastic hooks and I put them in there and it stops the windows from rattling. So I put them in the window rather than tape. One thing that does get trashed during the cyclones is the fly screens, because what happens is all the twigs off the trees just get, you can just hear it just hitting the side of the house, and the next morning all your fly screens has just been shredded. So after every cyclone, one of your insurance claims is always replace all of your fly screens, because you can guarantee they are like Swiss cheese. There's holes through your fly screens everywhere. So you can tape your windows, mate. I don't have to worry about sandbags and storm surge and all that where I am. I'm well inland from the ocean and I'm up pretty high. So storm surge isn't a problem for me. Maybe down in other parts of Innisfail, it could be a problem. I remember bloody after Jasper, guys, Cardwell, an hour down the road, you couldn't drive. Bruce Highway goes along the beach in Cardwell, right on the coast. You couldn't get through. The whole beach was basically, Cardwell was the beach. It just washed the whole beach up onto Cardwell. You had to see it to believe it. It was unbelievable. Beer, and more beer. Yes, I'll have some beers in the fridge. Don't you worry about that. I might buy an extra carton of beer. And the other thing too is if it does look like hitting us, I'll be getting rid of all the bait and bloody fish and all that shit out of the freezer. It'll be going to the dump, so that any red meat will go into the camping fridges. I'll just keep that the frozen ice in the chest freezer, and any bait and pilchards and all that shit I've got in the chest freezer, it'll be getting thrown out, because if you get hit by a cyclone, you're guaranteed to lose power. And as I said, last two cyclones, 2 weeks, both times, after Larry and Jasper, 2 weeks without power. So, so I think I'm ready, guys. I've been through this before. As I said, not panicking, just thinking ahead. And the other one thing I've got to do is I've got some shade sails here. They will be the last thing down. if it looks like we're going to get smacked, we're in the impact zone, and 6 hours out or whatever, it starts getting windy, that's when I'll get up and I'll get the shades. The shade sails will be coming down because they will not last otherwise. Steve W says, why do you need fish bait? Yeah, I wonder that too, Steve. Yeah, but I have got a box of pilchards, and I think there's some bloody Spanish mackerel and that in the fridge that I bought. So you lose power. The last thing you want's all bloody smelly bait and everything in your freezer. So clean your freezer out. And just remember, when you do put a claim in on your insurance after a cyclone or after a power outage and the power's been out for weeks, I think you can claim up to $400 for loss of food in your fridge and freezers. Don't forget that, guys. What if I need to catch a fish? I don't eat the shit anyway, Tofty. I'll be if I eat fish, it's out of a tin with a heap of rice, and I drown it in vinegar so I can't taste the fishy taste, mate. So yeah, thanks, Justin. We're not panicking yet, mate. Don't worry. This could fizzle out. And that's what I'm trying to say tonight, guys. People out there probably complacent. It won't hit us and that. And when it starts bearing down on you, and what I do hate is when there's a cyclone coming and you look at some of your neighbours and they've got sheets of corrugated iron out in their yard and friggin' planks of wood and all that type of stuff. That's the final prep too. Once the cars go into the shed, you put your shed down to periscope depth, put the bloody mattresses behind the roller doors and all that. That's when your pot plants and anything that can become a projectile in your backyard or your front yard, that goes inside as well. So absolutely nothing in your yard can become a projectile. During Yasi, the house over this side here, I heard a horrible noise. I put the torch through the window, and I could see the roof next door doing one of these. They lost their roof next door. And it was going like that. And I thought, when you go, do not blow this way. And it did, and it blew somewhere. I don't know where it blew, but yeah. Cyclone Larry, Troy next door, when he owned the house next door, his garden shed, which was a big garden shed, it's still down over the hill here, down the bottom of the hill. I can still see it. Troy, his whole shed went up over our house and over the back thing there, and it's still down there to this day. And that was Cyclone Larry in 2006, which did a lot of damage. Yeah. In Townsville, Buck, I have to say I'm stressing a little. Piss off Jasper. Absolutely, Kyle. Yes, Kyle Fransman in Townsville. We don't know where it's going to hit. Townsville copped Cyclone Yasi was that big. We're in the eye of, the real dark red bit, the eye. To Innisfail was in that. It kind of smacked Tully and Mission Beach harder than us, but we were still in that real dark red area. Townsville's 3 hours south, guys, and it was still a Category 3 down there. Townsville copped a lot of damage during Cyclone Yasi, and they were on the southern side. And that's the other thing. If the cyclone crosses just north of Cairns and it's a bad one, we're still going to cop it down here. It's always worse on the southern side of a cyclone. If you're on the northern side of a cyclone when it crosses, you're going to be a lot better off than the people on the southern side of it, just the way that they spin. So, yeah, the southern Townsville was on the southern side of Yasi because it crossed over Innisfail, Mission Beach area, Tully, and you would have seen the damage along the stream and that after Cyclone Yasi. That was the biggest cyclone to ever hit Australia, I think, Yasi, in 2011. There's wind gusts on Mount Bellenden Kerr, Queensland's second highest mountain, which is behind me here. The wind gusts recorded up there, 300 kilometres an hour on Mount Bellenden Kerr. And as it was coming in across the Coral Sea, they said Yasi's packing wind gusts to 285. I don't know what that is in miles an hour, Mike Blakely, but it is bloody fast, mate. And it was scary. It was bloody scary, just sitting there, just waiting. You don't know, you hear, ooh, on you. It comes in gusts, like it's bad the whole time, but then you get that real big, like the gust comes in. And it sounds like a jumbo jet coming over your house. And that's what you're just sitting there going, shining the torch up because you've already lost power, shining the torch up, going, is this the one where my roof's going to go? And after Cyclone Larry, there were some bloody scary stories of people that lost their roofs and had their young kids and hiding in their bathtubs and all that. Not pleasant at all. Mike Blakely probably knows what I'm talking about. I think Colorado is in the twister zone, Mike. I think the edge of Colorado is still in the twister zone there. They would be even scarier than cyclones, mate, those twisters, because you don't get as much warning with those. The good thing about cyclones, it's been out there a week now, and they said could be one foreman. They give everyone plenty of time. So if you're not prepared for a cyclone, it's because you've been complacent or bloody lazy or both. So anyway, we're ready to go. We're not panicking yet. Yeah, Hurricane Katrina. That was terrible. You know, I still remember Hurricane Katrina was the lack of action by America helping those people in New Orleans. That was disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. And I'll tell you where we've got it all over you, mate, in Australia, is as soon as the cyclone hits, after Cyclone Jasper hit, we had Black Hawk helicopters flying in with the military. And that's the other thing. Palaszczuk should be probably onto the Prime Minister as we speak and go, Prime Minister, I've got a cyclone bearing down on the North Queensland coast. If it's a bad one, I'm going to declare a state of emergency and I want the military involved. And that's what they normally do. They get the federal government has to wait for the state government to ask for assistance, and they normally do after a big cyclone. You see the Army helicopters fly in. We won't be seeing any MRH-90 helicopters flying in because they're all going into a hole as we speak, guys. There's none of them flying anymore. So if we do need military helicopters, it's going to be Chinooks, the big twin blade ones. That's the only helicopters we got left at the moment because they've left us with a big hiatus between getting rid of the MRH and getting the new Black Hawk. There's like an 18-month gap there. So I hope we don't need MRH-90 helicopters, Gidgey, because there is none, as you well know. Dad and I tried to get through to your place after Cyclone Larry, turned around by police at Kabul. Yeah, Dad and Gid, when Dad was still alive after Cyclone Larry in 2006, Dad and Ken tried to get up here to help us with the cleanup and couldn't get through Kabul, guys. The bloody Kabul just looked like the Sahara Desert. There was that much sand through it. It took them years to get Kabul back up and running. It's a nice little town now, but you should have seen it. If you go into Google and type in Cyclone Jasper and go to images, one of the biggest the beach across Kabul there, the main Bruce Highway, and also Port Hinchinbrook, which is never recovered. You see hundreds of boats up on top of each other. That's Port Hinchinbrook down at Kabul. And it just destroyed hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of boats down there, just piled up on top of each other. So, yeah, I forgot about that. Ken, you and Dad tried to get up to help with the cleanup. Couldn't get through Kabul. It got turned around. Traffic just couldn't get through Kabul for weeks, which is another problem. The old supermarket, everyone goes into panic buying. They can't get the stuff through. But anyway, hopefully the Chinooks will be on standby. So if we do get smacked hard up here, the federal government will send the Chinooks in and they can get food and water and all that type of through to the towns that need it using our Army Chinook helicopters, CH-47s, so which are designed to carry a lot of stores. So the Chinooks are just down in Townsville, so they might need to lock them away in a big shed too in case it does hit Townsville. Who knows? So anyway, guys, just want to let you know preps are going well. We're not panicking at this stage. Everything's just nice and easy. I'm just really planning in my head at the moment, starting to do a few things. Tomorrow I'm going to do the water tanks on the camper trailer, just go around, have another look, make sure I haven't forgotten anything, and we'll see how we go. But who knows? This might fizzle out into nothing, but it could whip itself up into a Cat 5 and smack it could smack Cairns, it could smack Townsville, smack Innisfail again. Who knows? Probably best case scenario is it fizzles out to a Category 2 and goes out well north of Cooktown the only town up there is Lockhart River type thing, Aboriginal community, and go across one of those where it's not heavily populated. The last thing we need is Cairns or Townsville to get smacked by a Cat 5, because that's just massive, massive damage, guys. It'll be billions of dollars worth of damage if that happens. But anyway, that's the way it is. If you've got any more questions about cyclone prep, let us know, guys. Otherwise, we'll have a jibber-jabber for a little bit longer. I haven't been going an hour yet, so I'm not going to stay on too long. It's a weeknight. It's a school night. Barra go crazy in the high humidity, Graham Whitaker. They don't go crazy for me, mate, let me tell you. Shouldn't see any rain or wind until Sunday. Yeah, scrub turkey. So we'll see how we go, mate. I'm keeping a close eye on it. At the moment, it's doing a dog leg on Sunday, and it's basically heading for Willis Island, which is off the coast of Cairns. So it's heading my way, but who knows? It could keep doglegging and go back up towards Papua New Guinea. It could do it and go back out to sea. It could do another one and head down along the coast. Probably the worst case scenario cyclone is not one that goes across, say that's the Queensland coast, one that comes from the ocean, the Coral Sea, and goes across. So it only smacks, 1, 2, 3 towns. It's the ones that come down from north and travel the whole entire length of the coast. So they come down north of Cairns and they just keep following the coastline. And luckily, the last couple that have done that have only been category 1s and 2s and haven't caused too much damage. But can you imagine a big Cat 4 or 5 following the Queensland coast down? They're capable of following the coastline all the way down to Brisbane. Don't think you're safe in Brisbane, guys. Likelihood of getting smacked by a 3, 4, or 5 in Brisbane is slim. I don't know. I still think Brisbane's capable of getting smacked by a 1 or a 2 because it gets a little bit cooler down there. But Brisbane isn't out of cyclone zones. I'm sure Brisbane's been smacked by a cyclone before, just quietly. I know me and Gidgey went through one in Hervey Bay in 1980 or 1981. A cyclone hit Hervey Bay. It was only a 1 or a 2. And I remember the louvers of the police house smashing, and it was still pretty scary. Like a bloody, even a Cat 1, 100k an hour winds. It's bloody not good. But when you get up to the severe tropical cyclones, 3s, 4s, and 5s, that's you are still on the 50 cent, 5 cent thing. They're not very nice at all. Benny Lux, hey Buck, we're going on a cruise next week up that way. I'd be cancelling that right now, mate, if I was you. Nah, hang out a bit longer. Bring your surfboard. You can surf out the back of it. I think, mate, those cruise ships, if there's a cyclone in the area, they will go elsewhere, or they just won't go at all. I know the weather off Tasmania recently was that bad. They didn't leave Hobart. They were going to go Hobart down to Port Arthur or something. The weather was that bad. The cruise ship said, we're not going. And they sent everyone to Port Arthur on buses and that because they said, we're not sailing in this. It's just too rough. And that's the big cruise ship. So, that was just normal weather down in Tasmania. Yeah. Does a cyclone always travel in a certain direction? No, mate. They go anywhere and everywhere. They are very, very unpredictable. There's a joke there. You watch some of the cyclone tracking and they go, we've just discovered who's in the Bureau of Meteorology doing the cyclone tracking. And there's a picture of Mr. Squiggle with his big pencil, just drawing squiggles all over the place because they can, mate. Some of them will form in the Coral Sea, like Cyclone Larry. Type in Cyclone Larry tracking map and have a look at Cyclone Larry. It was out in the Coral Sea and it just didn't deviate. It just went straight and it smacked Innisfail, smack on. Yasi was similar. Yasi was out there doing a few things and then it started coming in and it didn't really deviate. But you see other cyclones, they're bloody all over the place like a mad woman shit. They're very unpredictable. And at the moment, the Bureau of Meteorology do not know where this is going to hit. They've gone Cooktown to Mackay. That's their best guess at the moment. As time goes on, it'll start getting a little bit, as it gets closer to the coast, they can narrow it down, and then they must, where the winds are and all that, and they can give you a more accurate guesstimate on where it is. And probably at least a day out, sometimes 2 days out, you'll start hearing the woo, woo, that cyclone bloody. When you hear that on the radio and the TV, that's when your ass starts doing one of them, and that's when you better make sure you start making sure you got everything right, because it means you're in the cyclone zone. When you get that bloody horrible siren, you know the one I'm talking about, the cyclone siren, I think you get the same warning down in bushfire zones down south as well. So when you start seeing that on the TV, you make sure you got your shit squared away. Otherwise, you're going to be in for a world of hurt. All you can do is prepare the best you can, guys. And as long as you got food and water, medical supplies, and all that, don't ever use a generator inside. I think Yasi and Larry both had fatalities, and I think Cyclone Yasi, is as bad as it was with $3-point-something billion worth of damage, only one fatality. And that was a guy, I think, gassed himself in his own house. He was running a generator in his house and gassed himself. And they put that down as a fatality of Yasi. That was just stupidity. So don't ever run a generator in your house, guys. So I don't run generators. I don't worry about them. Trying to have enough fuel and all that type of shit. I know a lot of people have got generators and they can plug it into their house and then can power their house again so they can have their fridges. We're prepared. We can go. We'll just pretend we're camping for 2 weeks if we lose power. We've got camping fridges. We've got a camper trailer. If the showers go cold here, the shower stays lukewarm for a few days here from memory. And then we'll go out and use the camper trailer, or I'll get me little king shower out, and we'll have a shower like we did when we were getting the bathroom renovated for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. We're showering out put the bloody pop-up ensuite out, and we're showering out in the carport. We'll do that again if we have to. As long as we've got food, water, medical supplies, we've got batteries and all that type of stuff, we'll be right. And hey, if we get any damage and we're insured, we just go through the long haul and we get things replaced. If I lose my roof, I'll get a new renovation on the inside of the house. You've got to think positive, I suppose. But as I said, give me a cyclone any day over a bushfire, because you've seen what bushfires do. They don't leave much, do they? At least cyclones, you might lose your roof. You can get a new roof put on, bit of a reno inside, you end up with a nice new home. When a bushfire goes through, you lose everything, and I mean everything. So, yes, they do, Landy. Do they have refuge shelters? Every town in North Queensland has got a cyclone shelter, mate, and our nearest cyclone shelter here in Innisfail, if people got houses that aren't cyclone rated, I'm lucky. I got a Caulfield brick home, old Besser brick home. It's older than me, this house. She's Caulfield. It's not going anywhere. If anything happens, I might have a window blow in, or I might have my roof might go. But the walls ain't going anywhere. She's Caulfield. There are some older homes. Cyclone Tracy, I think we lost 74 people dead up there in Christmas Day, 1974, I think it was it? So, Tracy, 74. Houses weren't ready for cyclones up there. A lot of the houses now are brick and, got good roofs on them. They're a bit better prepared for cyclones. Our nearest cyclone shelter is the new Innisfail State College School, because, was it Larry or Yasi? The old Innisfail High School, as you're driving into Innisfail, guys, from down south, you'll see it's just an eyesore. That's the old high school on the left-hand side. It got demolished, I think, during Cyclone Yasi. I'll say Yasi in 2011. Got demolished, and they had to build a whole new high school. And that high school's been built. It's all brick and everything, and there's a cyclone shelter there. Tully's new high school sports hall, I think, is the cyclone shelter. Every town in North Queensland, you'll find, has got a cyclone shelter. A building that's designated as a cyclone shelter, which can stand up to a Category 5 cyclone. But trouble is, you go to those, they don't let you bring your pets and all that type of stuff. So, yeah, we don't go anywhere. Even if this is a Category 5, we'll sit it out again. We've been through one before. Roz has been through Cyclone Larry in in 2006. She said that was very, very scary, but we survived. And this time, well, if it is a Cat 5, we'll sit it out again. Then when you finish, you go out, you start cleaning up, and then you start helping your neighbours, and then everyone helps everyone, and the whole community comes together. Next thing you know, they're doing barbecues downtown for everyone, and the local butchers bloody puts all his meat that's going to get written off anyway, and people are having barbecues down the main street, and free water. And one thing that Queensland does do is post-cyclone, very, very good. You usually find that if you're in the impact zone, you can apply for $1,000 grant straight up to replace all your food and all this type of stuff. And I was talking about Hurricane Katrina before, and just the lack of response from the Americans after Katrina. We do it very well here in Australia, and so we should. We have enough cyclones here. We should be bloody prepared. We have bushfires every year. We should have it down pat, and I'm confident. I don't like giving the government a plug, but I know if there's towns that without electricity and they're running out of water and all that, you'll see Army helicopters starting to land, and they'll be bringing in supplies and all that type of stuff. So our government, after a natural disaster, I think are very good at looking after us, which is the way it should be. Yeah, exactly right, Justin. It's what Aussies do. We look after each other, mate, especially after a natural disaster. Go around, people turning up at people's places with their trailers and chainsaws. And, I remember after Cyclone Jasper, my son Phil turned up and he had chainsaws and everything. He said, let's go around, and bloody people turning up. They'd see some old lady's house with trees down, and people would be there backing up their Land Cruisers out with the chainsaws and bloody getting the yard. Everyone helping everyone out, and that's what it's all about. Steve, how you going, mate? Hope you and Roz and Rafa are safe. Good, Steve. Yeah, we're all right, mate. The cyclone's way off coast at the moment. We don't know where it's going to go. We're getting prepared. That's all we can do. And as I said, we get plenty of warning. So, yeah, I don't stuff around with cyclone. Ken says, oh, you're panicking. No, I'm not panicking. I'm just getting ready for it, because bloody Innisfail's been through two bloody big ones, 06 and 11. And I mean big ones. And they're bloody scary, guys. So we want to be ready for it. And I think we are. We will be anyway. As soon as they go, she's going to impact Innisfail, or, between here and there, and we're in that impact zone, we're going down to periscope depth, guys. The bloody cars will be in the shed. The roller doors will be barricaded. The windows will be sorted. I might even tape the windows up if it's another bad one. All the debris out of the yard. There'll be not a pot plant or anything that can be picked up by the wind will be outside. It'll be all inside the shed. So it'll be busy, and it's always busy after a cyclone. The cleanup. You start with your own yard, and then you start helping your neighbours, and then you start helping your neighbourhood, and then you go around and bloody keep your eye if there's any power back on, or you just go around and ask. And I remember bloody Roz's family going around over to her sister's place and chainsawing and trees down at Mark and Ruth's, and we're chainsawing there and dragging the thing. And they usually have a big area here. They go, righto, guys, anyone, all your green waste going here. Anyone with rubbish, it goes here. And it might be a football oval. And you just bring your stuff in and you dump it there. And then they get rid of that after thing. But, yeah, it's very, very well organised normally. Cyclone cleanup here. It's very well organised. Terry's off to bed, is he? Got to run, mate. Take care, Buck. See you, mate. Terry's off for an nap in the caravan. We have a catastrophic, Josh Hatch, catastrophic fire ban tomorrow in South Australia. 39 degrees Celsius, strong winds and dry lightning. Just what you don't need, mate. When you're in a bushfire zone and the conditions are catastrophic, it's not good. It's a big country, Australia, isn't it? Down there in South Australia, they're worried about bushfires, and up here in far north Queensland, we got our eye on a cyclone. So, Mother Nature, you don't know what it's going to throw at you, do you? Freddie, Steve said something about a tsunami or something anyway. Yeah, that's one thing we don't want here, tsunami. I think we're pretty safe from tsunamis here in North Queensland. I think the barrier reef will bloody, the reef will stop that from happening, hopefully. Yeah, all going well. Cyclones don't cause tsunamis. You'll get a lot of storm surge, especially and Murphy's Law. If a cyclone hits, it always seems to be at night time. Can never be, always at night time when you can't see what's going on. And it'll always hit on a high tide. So the storm surge is even worse. So it's always the way. Always the way. Partners Day Off Adventure. There's a new one. Partners Day Off Adventures. I haven't seen that name on this channel before. G'day, guys. How are you? Stephen saying g'day to Steve from Soar Adventures. Chrissy Anderson saying you don't realise how big Australia is until you start driving it. Absolutely, Chris. It's a big country, mate. It's the sixth largest country in the world in area. United States is the fourth. So the US is a little bit bigger than Australia. Not by much, but it is. Canada's massive. Slacken took weeks to get over from Ontario over to bloody British Columbia. Canada's the second biggest country in the world. Russia's the biggest. Russia's goes Russia, Canada, China, United States, Brazil, and then Australia in area, guys. I don't know. Don't ask me about population. I think it's China or India when it comes to population. But, yeah, area-wise, Australia's the sixth largest country in the world. Largest island in the world and the smallest continent in the world. Did you know that? Australia's the smallest. It's the only country that's also a continent, and it's the smallest continent out of all the continents. Yeah, so there you go. Anyway, I've run out of things to say. I think I've talked about cyclones enough. Just letting you know that we're okay. The cyclone is a long way off the thing. I think probably towards the end of the weekend, we'll get a better idea from the Bureau of Meteorology where it's going to go, where it's probably it's dog-legging at the moment. It was heading south and it started dog-legging and it's coming for us. It's coming across Willis Island, kind of heading for just north of Cairns. But anything could happen, guys. It could keep dog-legging and go up and hit Papua New Guinea. It could turn south and hit central Queensland. There was a prediction there where they thought it might hit Rockhampton down in central Queensland. So, but at the moment, their latest prediction is between Cooktown and Mackay, which is the whole of North Queensland. It's a big state, Queensland. So, yeah, it's they're just throwing darts at the moment. They don't know where it's going to go. But anyway, the thing is, we're all getting ready for it. And if you're in North Queensland, Townsville, all that type of stuff, anyone in North Queensland and you're in a Cane Higgins, anyone in a potential impact zone, start getting ready now, guys. Don't leave everything to the last minute. Don't leave it to the last minute and go and buy the whole of Woolworths in a panic buy. Just grab a few things, what you think you might need, bit of long life milk, all that type of stuff, carton of water, bit of tin food. You're not without food for weeks, guys. They usually get the highway open and they get the semis through and they start stocking the supermarkets as soon as they can after a cyclone. You might have a couple of days where you've got to rough it. They get the highways open and the trucks will start coming through and get the stores through. And at worst case scenario, they'll start flying shit in, which they've done before. If they can't get it through from down south, they'll start bloody getting big planes flying into Cairns and then they'll truck it down from north. There's always a beer, rum, and tuna. Gidgey reckons that's all you need. Yeah, we got some tin tuna, packet rice, all that type of stuff. Have a way to cook it. I've got a million ways to cook it. That's why those little $20 butane stoves, guys, and a bloody frying pan. Dead set, if you're in North Queensland, you haven't got one of them, you're mad. Just keep it in the shed so you can cook stuff. You can boil your water for a brew and you can cook something in a frying pan. A little $20 butane stove from BCF or super cheap, anywhere you can buy those things. I think even Woolies and Coles sells them in their camping aisle. So, yeah. Aussie Matt said, moved up the Cairns from Adelaide 12 months ago. Hopefully I'm prepared enough. Yeah, mate. I hope you got a bit out of tonight, Matt. just make sure your torches are charged, mate. You got a bit of food, you got water, medication if you need it, refill your car, have a bit of cash in your wallet, because we could go a couple of days without power where you can't, even the service stations. Couple of days, the servos might take a couple of days to hire a generator so they can pump their fuel. So make sure we've done that. Went down yesterday, filled the BT50 up with diesel, all that type of stuff. Just basic common dog stuff, mate, and you'll get through. But don't panic, mate. That's the big thing. Do not panic, even if it's a Cat 5. If you're in a flood zone and storm surge zone, you might need to evacuate. I think Cyclone Jasper, they had to evacuate the Cairns Hospital. That, like, big evacuations during Jasper, massive. And I'll tell you what, I don't like the Labor government, but Anna Bligh was the Premier of Queensland during Cyclone Jasper. She did a fantastic job, that woman. She was a bloody trooper. She really did a good job, and we had the floods down in Brisbane, and then Cyclone Jasper. She went through a real shit time as the Premier of Queensland, and she did a magnificent job, I thought. And I'm sure Anastasia Palaszczuk, she's got good people, emergency services and all that are well drilled in all this shit. They'll know, and they'll look after us. So don't panic that you're going to be left by your own, and after a cyclone, you'll be right. Got to rough it for a couple of days, and then things start getting back to normal. They'll start getting the roads open, servos start opening, Coles and Woolies start restocking the shelves. Don't panic too much. As long as you can bloody go without power. If you're set up for camping, you'll get through a cyclone. Absolutely. And we got more shit than you can poke stick out in the shed, lights and things to cook on. And we got, at the end of the day, we've got charcoal out there, and get the fire pit out, throw some charcoal in it, and grill some bloody food up on the Snow Peak fire pit, if all else fails. Anyway, guys, I might get going, eh? Big, ugly, and tats, easy to spot. Well, so Gidgey's having a conversation there. Speaking of Gidge, he's finished work, guys. He finished work today, his last day at work, and a bit of sweet, as Ken said. He worked on these bloody helicopters for 10 years, and the Army's had a big bloody knee-jerk reaction because we lost one and it killed 4 people. Sounds like it wasn't the fault of the helicopter. It was to do with flying on night vision goggles. But it doesn't look good when you start saying pilot error, does it? And the media hasn't come up with that. Government knee-jerk reaction. Let's get rid of $2 billion worth of helicopters. And now the Australian Army doesn't have any at all, except the Chinooks. And it's going to be the end of next year at least until we get the Black Hawks start arriving. So, God, our new Black Hawks that are coming from America. Something we should have bought when we got rid of our old Black Hawks. They should have got new ones. No, someone thought it'd be a good idea to buy French helicopters. How'd that one end up? Not real good, eh? They're all ending up in a hole. $2 billion worth of our tax money. Anyway, we'll be talking about that later on. Butane stoves and frying pans can't go wrong. Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what, if anyone says, what's the first camping item you'd buy, Buck, if you're starting off camping again and you want to do it basic? Obviously, camp chair, a comfy camp chair, shelter, a good little 4-man dome tent or something, a bloody $100 dome tent from your camping store. Some of them 4-man dome tents are beauties. And a way to cook and boil your water. And the best way to do that, unless you're in freezing cold weather, is one of those $20, $30 butane stoves and a billy and a frying pan. That's all you need, and a knife and a fork, and you'll get by. A bit of brew gear. That's how we did it in the old days. Bloody, we used to take, dwelling up. For that person who was over in Southwest, always took my kids camping at Dwelling Up in southwestern Australia. And we just had a couple of 2-man dome tents. And the kids would sleep in one, we'd sleep in the other. 2-man dome tents, a couple of camp chairs, a tarp strung up between some trees for some shade, and we had a wonderful camping trip and a little butane stove to cook on with a frying pan. Or you just make a fire and throw your frying pan in the fire and cook some snags up in the frying pan. Nice, easy stuff, eh? Hi from Bundaberg, Mr. Adventure. Oh, you should be lucky, mate. I don't know if she'll come as low as Bundaberg. As I said, cyclones can hit Bundaberg, but I think you should be right. It looks like it's going to go north of Mackay at this stage. They're tipping. Mike Blakely's off. Thanks for tuning in, Mike. I know it's a bloody shit night for you. Sounds like they're looking for a reason to get rid of them. Yes, they were, Mike. They're having some troubles with them. They didn't purchase enough spare parts to keep them in the air properly. And it was just the whole thing was a cluster, mate. The whole thing was a cluster. We should have just bought Black Hawks from the start. Our Black Hawk serve us well, and we should have just replaced them with new Black Hawks. All the infrastructure was already there, but someone got their pockets lined by the French, mate. Some senior officers and politicians, they got a kickback from the frogs, and now no one will be held accountable for that poor decision. Maris Goff. Maria Goff. G'day, Maria. How is she? She's retracted her message. She might have been saying, stop talking shit, Buck, and get off. No, Gidgey's not retiring at the moment. He's a bit young yet, guys. He's probably what will happen. Ken finished work today. 10 years working with Airbus helicopters, who they used to do the deep maintenance, like the big services on the MRH-90 French helicopters. Beautiful big helicopters they were. That took over from our old Black Hawks. We had a few, and we'll talk more about this on another live feed. We had a few incidents happen there. Unfortunately, one of them led to the death of 4 Australian Army members. Knee-jerk reaction, and they've canned the whole fleet of helicopters. So now the Australian Army's without helicopters except for the Chinooks. We got no helicopters until our 40 Black Hawks arrive towards the end of next year. Ken's got that type of qualification, guys, where he'll no doubt get a job on the new Black Hawks. He worked on them for 23 years, the old model Black Hawks. So he'll get another job, but he's looking at this as a good 6-month break, recharge the batteries, have a holiday, catch up with family, do all that type of stuff, and hopefully halfway through the next year, Gidgey will some jobs will start opening up in preparation for when we receive our Black Hawk helicopters, and Gidgey will be back in business then, and hopefully can score a job as the deep maintenance manager on the new Black Hawks, which he knows inside out. So why is everything up? Yeah, I'll tell you why, Chris. Dwelling up, Manjum up. And it's either UP or YUP, and that's Aboriginal for, this is my belief, someone from West Aussie might either correct me on this or agree, YUP or UP, a lot of town names, Manjum up, Nanup, dwelling up, everything's YUP or UP. It's Aboriginal for near water or by the water. That's what I was always led to believe, is if a town's got Manjum up, there'll be a river nearby or a creek or something like that, or the ocean or whatever. So apparently it means near the water. It's an Aboriginal term. Manjum up, Nanup. There's a heap of, every town ends in a UP or a YUP over there in southwest Western Australia. So it's an Aboriginal thing, mate, and I think it's to do with being near the water or being near a body of water, whether it's a creek or a river or the ocean or whatever like that. So hopefully, I wish Pete or Cam or someone's on. They'd probably be able to, Mr. Bullet, you know everything. You're over there in Western Australia. I'll wait for Mr. Bullet to put a comment up. I'm pretty sure it's Aboriginal for by the water. Mr. Bullet, you still on, mate? Can you confirm that? Monkey's on. G'day. Yep, near the water. There you go. Monkey's he must have Googled it. It means near the water. Yes. Yeah, everything's got a YUP on the end of it in West Aussie. Vacation. That's an American word, Nikki. Amazing capabilities and too many issues. Yeah, Mike. Speak to Ken. Ken's the first one to say it was a magnificent helicopter. But once again, we didn't get the proper support for it. Like, if you're going to buy helicopters, you've got to make sure you've got enough spare parts for them to keep them in the air. And anyway, it was just a waste of taxpayers' money, mate. When they said they were getting French helicopters, instead of getting Apache and new Black Hawk from the scratch, we went with Tiger, our armed reconnaissance helicopters, the Eurocopter Tiger, which is still flying. Took them 8 years to get them operational when they got them off the shelf. 8 years to get those things operational, and the MRH have lasted 6 or 7 years, and they've scrapped them. Everyone, why Australia just doesn't stick with American gear, i.e. American submarines, Virginia class. Everyone knows we should have gone Virginia class, but someone thought it'd be a good idea to go and buy French nuclear submarines and convert them to diesel electrics. What could possibly have gone wrong there? So thank God the last government stepped in and cancelled that. It said, no, we're going nuclear, and we're going to go either British Astute class or Virginia class American. But it sounds like we're going to get... Mike, tell Biden to hurry up and sell us the 3 Virginia class that we're going to lease off you or buy second-hand ones off you to get us up and running. And then I think we're going to build, between Britain, America, and Australia, a new class of nuclear submarine. We're going to have 8 of our own there. But in the meantime, we're supposed to be getting 3 Virginia class off you. So, but anyway, that's dragging on like a wet week too, that decision. He's talking Ospreys. Oh, the V-22. Sorry, Mike. You're talking about the Americans just up on Melville Island, in Tony Purdy will back us up here. The American Marines had a bad accident with one of their V-22 Osprey. They're the plane guys where it can go like that and take off like a helicopter, and when it gets in the air, they go forward, and then it can go like a plane. A few of them are speared in. 2 of them here in Australia, one on Melville Island, and we lost both the pilots in that last one. It was only a few months ago. So, yeah, the V-22 Ospreys have had some problems, mate, haven't they? They really have. If you had any, Mike said, if I had any power, we would have already had our Virginia-class nuclear submarine. So apparently we've got Aussie sailors on British nukes and American nukes cross-training as we speak, mate. So, which is good. So you can't just buy nuclear submarines and go, oh, we'll have a crack at these. We've already got sailors on your subs training as we speak, which is good to know. Tony Purdy is on, guys. Yeah, Buck. Tony knew the Marine crew, the pilots who were killed in that latest accident, the Osprey on Melville Island, north of Darwin. Tony knew them and was good friends with them. Obviously met them through the officers' mess. Tony's an officer guy, so knew them up in the officers' mess there. Very sad, Tony. Very sad indeed, mate. And it sounds like, from what you were saying, is that they did everything they could to save the people in the back of that thing. It could have been a lot worse. Tilt rotor. There you go. Brad's all over it, a tilt rotor. People are probably going, Buck, shut up. Stop talking military shit. You're supposed to be talking about cyclones. All right, guys, I'm going to get going. Roz has got dinner out there ready. Been going an hour and a half. That's long enough on a weeknight. Thanks for tuning in. We're getting ready for the cyclone. Let's hope. What's the old saying? Plan for the worst, but hope for the best. And that's what we're doing. That's all you can do in a cyclone, is plan for the worst case scenario, a category 5, but hope for the best. And that's what we're doing here. Listen, it could fizzle out into nothing, or we could get smacked with a big one. It's happened before, and it'll happen again. Got to be ready. Never take these things for granted. Mother Nature is not to be messed with, guys, whether it's a bushfire, hurricane, cyclone, whatever. Just bloody be prepared the best you can. Good night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Probably won't do a live feed on the weekend. I'll be too busy with one eye on what's going on up here, and that's what I told Danny Bowes and Johnny Wilcox over in West Virginia there. I'm going to have to call them off, so I've got other things on my mind at the moment. That's why I come on and did a quick one tonight. Hope you're all well. Patches. Gidgy said the patches are Velcro backed, so they won't blow off in a cyclone. It'll take a Cat 6 to blow these off. They're that tough. So get on. If you're new on the channel, everyone, we're doing all this for charity. Gidgy Gorilla, my brother, there's one of his patches. We'll give him another plug. They're really good quality. That's embroidered, guys. Just next level. Mr. Buckaroony. Another Gidgy Gorilla there. And my little mate, Rafa the dog, who's out there. He's out there talking to Mum at the moment. There's Rafa the dog, the star of the channel. There he is up there. $35 a set. Send me an email to p.rogers65@bigpond.com, RODGERS, and I'll post them out to you guys. Every cent of that $35 goes into the charity, Legends for Charity, which is for an animal, Southern Arc Downs animal shelter, and also the RACQ care flight. So 2 good ones there. Thanks, Mike. Hope you're well over there in Colorado, mate. And what a great picture that was, mate, of the United States Marine Corps Memorial you sent. I'll put it up on the Facebook page. Beautiful photo. Amazing, mate, that American flag. I was going to say this at the start of this, and I forgot. Have a look at the date, everyone. Have a look at the date. 7th of December. Does that ring a bell with anyone? Mike Blakely, I bet it rings a bell with you, mate. 7th of December, guys. Let's see who's first to... what's the 7th of December? I'll give you another hint. 83 years ago. Debbie got it. Pearl Harbor. Exactly. It's probably only the 6th of December over in the United States, Mike, so you're probably not thinking about Pearl. But for us, 7th of December, 1941 is when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. Roz has actually been there and seen the monument of the USS Arizona and all that and said it was amazing. When she went over for Patty Mills's wedding in Hawaii, Roz went to Pearl Harbor and did the big tour there. That would have been amazing to see. I think 2,500 or 2,400 Americans, including about 60 civilians, killed in that attack, and that's what brought the Americans into World War II. Thank God, we'd probably be speaking Japanese. And I keep saying it to everyone. Everyone goes, why are the Australians so far up the Yanks' arse? Because if it wasn't for the Yanks, we wouldn't be here. And it's a simple fact. Everyone goes, oh, Japan was never going to invade Australia. Bullshit, they weren't. And if it wasn't for the Yanks coming in, there's no way we would have kept the Japanese out because we just weren't prepared. Like we are now, we're still not prepared. You reckon we would have learned from World War II? The Australian Army, I was talking to Tony Purdy about this, and it still disgusts me. The size of our army, I mean, what we got's good, guys, but it's too small. It's too small for the size of this country. And if we went to war tomorrow, I think we'd be in for a rude shock. And we're not as prepared as what we should be. And anyway, we'll save that for another bloody thing. But yeah, 7th of December, 1941. What's that? 82 years ago. Was it 83 or 82 years ago? Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, brought the Americans into World War II. Mike, do you reckon I'll tell you now, if the Yanks didn't come into World War II, Germany would have won and Japan would have won. I don't care what anyone says. If the Yanks didn't enter the war, it would have been a different story. Mike, do you reckon you would have ended the war if it wasn't for Pearl Harbor? I know things. 2,400 service members and 1,000 civilians, Mike's saying. There you go. Yeah. It's a good movie. You haven't seen it. Some of those old World War Tora, and the Battle of Midway. 2 old World War II movies, guys. If you haven't seen those movies, watch them. They are very, very, very good. And then you had the Pearl Harbor, the movie with Ben Affleck and that in it. That wasn't too bad either. But watch the old World War II ones, Tora, and the Battle of Midway. Both really good. Both very good. Phil's on. My son's on down there. G'day, Phil. How are you? Gidgy saying to me son Phil, our aimless wanderings, that's me son Phil. Gidgy reckons your father's on the verge of a mental breakdown due to the cyclone. Bullshit, Gidgy. I'm just getting prepared. I'm getting prepared. And after that, I hope it hits Airlie Beach and that you're stuck in your room for 3 days drinking bottled water. Gidge is on his way up next week, guys, to see the family for Christmas. Going to be great to catch up with Ken and do some cook-ups with him. It's going to be really good. Whether he comes up in Innisfail and does them, or we do them in Townsville, we haven't crossed that bridge yet. Let's hope this cyclone pisses off, and no one has to do any recovery. Mr. Bullet said, I had 2 Yankee Submariners for uncles. Glad they helped us. Yeah, absolutely, Mr. Bullet. That's why Japanese was taught at schools in case of invasion. Well, there you go. All right, good night, everyone. Hope you have a good week. Enjoy the rest of your week. Keep your eye on if you're down south, cross your fingers for us. Everyone up here in North Queensland, we're all a little bit anxious. We're not panicking, Gidgey, but we're getting ready for it. So, but I'll tell you what, if it looks like it's going to come in as a 4 or a 5, that's when our asses will be doing one of them. Don't worry about that. See you later. Take care, and we'll see you again whenever. Before Christmas, we've got a live feed, all going well, as long as we don't lose power for 2 weeks. See ya. End stream. Good night, everyone.